So I would like to invite here Dr. Rupa Chakravarty, Director of Sun City Schools, a very good friend of mine, to give a perspective of the schools. Rupa, over to you.
Hi, Jyoti. What a pleasure to see your pretty face as usual. Thank you, Pranav, for having me, and Happy New Year to everybody. I think the first perspective we all need to understand is that the fifth industrial revolution has happened. And I would call it the fifth industrial evolution, because we are going through evolution, and we have to understand that we need to see our adaptability to these situations. And this is what determines education. There are two words which come to my mind: that adversity gives rise to opportunity. So the first thing that we need to understand, and I think this situation has taught us, this situation of fifth industrial evolution, is that opportunity is how we handle a situation during adversity. And this is a huge learning. The second thing that has come in is originality. And I think opportunity and originality will determine how the world sees education in the future. Some of the professors who spoke talked about heutology or heuristic approach to learning, or heuristic process of learning, which is self-directed learning. And this is what has happened. One of the best things that has happened during this time is adaptability. And I think we have learned that the child is the father of man, because in many a scenario, and I'm sure Dr. Jyoti will reinforce this, as will many other school teachers and heads, that the students were the ones who took the lead in technology in many a classroom that was happening, whether synchronous, asynchronous, whether it was hybrid, real time, but it was the students that the teachers turned to. So I think this fantastic situation which has arisen due to this pandemic is that there is collaborative learning happening. And something that we need to remember very, very strongly is that the students, they have been able to uh, have a different perspective, as is true of all of us. And this is very important under opportunity, that you have an open mindedness. So I look at it with the point of view of having an O. So open mindedness and objectivity. And I think a new situation has developed this, that we need to be very open minded and objective to be original. And I would say it has also given a huge impetus to things that we have talked about, like VUCA. We've talked about design thinking. And here we are today under these circumstances of evolution, where we are actually going through a VUCA, and we are doing design thinking. What NEP has brought in, it's a coincidence of fate, and that NEP came in this pandemic year, or just before the pandemic year, and it is talking about holistic development. And nothing could have constituted a better development of the child than this pandemic situation. We have addressed holistic development by looking at a lot of the human development and the humane development. The human development, I would say, is the opportunity and the originality. And the humane development is when we are problem solving, we are integrating the SDGs into the learning, and that is creating a whole new method of heuristic process of learning. So I think it is something that we all need to remember, that the human and the humane. And under the humane, like it is rightly said, that character is more important than knowledge. And we must remember this all the time. And another thing that will never change is something that Einstein said: I have no special talent. I am just passionately curious. So I think these are few of the things that we have learned, not only during the process of education while we were in school, but pandemic times have brought in something which is fantastic. And the emerging trends today are something not only applicable to a scholar or scholarly, but to and to the corporate or the entrepreneurial uh, aspects that are there in the world. So what we need to remember that we have to make sure that we develop the human and the humane aspect of learning, keeping focus on the heuristic approach. So I think all of us need to make that flow, so that whether it be at the scholar level, at the tertiary level, or in the real world for which we are preparing our children, there is a seamless movement. And there can be nothing better than the pandemic times to ensure that learning evolves, as God has ensured that evolution is happening at this time. I think
Thank
with
you
that,
so much. Human and humane. I think that's going to be with us for a long time. Thank you. Thank you so much.